This is all my opinion, and obviously spoilers ahead for the games and anime. And it's just the writing mistakes. The moral aspects is in a different video. Number 1, how they handled Gonta in Trial 4. I don't think he should have lost his memories at all. This action had negative side effects. The first one being, you made Gonta look like he's dumb, and can't take responsibility for his own actions. He doesn't really get to defend himself. They let Kaido do it. I feel like it's a flanderization of his whole character. Oh, he's just a sweet boy who can't think for himself. Don't get me wrong, Gonta is super sweet, but he's also smart as hell. It's his own self-esteem and social skills that get in his way, not his intelligence. This can lead to some fans refusing to admit Gonta holds at least some responsibility for Miu's death. Or on the opposite side of the fandom, it made some people hate him, because they felt the game was trying to force you not to hold him accountable. It left their sour taste in their mouth. This is an easy fix. Let Gonta keep his memories and just have him stay quiet because he's still struggling inside with what happened. When Kokichi lies, have him start to argue with Kokichi, showing something must have happened between the two. Boom! Take it from there, AU authors. Speaking of AU authors, leading into number 2, Junko being the mastermind of Goodbye Despair. What's going on here? What is Junko, William Afton? Kidding, I know Junko happened first. Still though, I would prefer if we had a new mastermind. And you know who's perfect? Our boy Izuru. Thanks to Cody for this idea, as they're the local AU author on my Discord. Go check out their Instagram, they're great. Do you know how much angst we could have got if Izuru was the mastermind? Of course, in this idea, him and Hajime would be separate people. And it works because of the AI program. Hajime having to come to terms with the fact that he technically did all of this. He helped murder Chiaki twice. But instead of just having Hajime just mourn, we can have Izuru arguing as well. There is a lot more to this idea, trust me. Just too much for this video. But anything would be better than Giant Junko. Number 3, killing Mukuro too early. Usually I'm not a fan of saying, oh, this character should have lived, because a lot of the time it's more unbiased than a writing standpoint. Except certain characters like Hyoko, but that's for later on in the video. Mukuro had a lot to offer, not only being Junko's sister, but having a unique relationship to our protagonist. The best part is we really wouldn't have to get rid of any other characters either. Just don't kill Mukuro so quickly. We don't need an example for the rules. If anything, Monokuma blowing up on Mondo did the trick for that. Mukuro could have blended into the background for the most part, and in chapter 5, she could have finally broke, and try to tell Makoto about Junko and how to stop her. Then Junko would kill her, and we would have a real death for chapter 5. Mukuro development, and it would make more sense for Junko to come out of hiding. Remember though, this one isn't considering Danganronpa if. Hey, but anything for more sprites of her, right? Number 4, the Hyoko point. Not exactly the fact that she died, but how they treated her death. Her death felt really rushed and pushed to the side. I mean, we didn't even get a murder weapon for her. I do think her dying was a good choice, but we should have been giving more information on her death. I freaking love that trial, but in all honesty, it's a mess. I know a lot of people say it's rushed because Mafia Boy was supposed to die, but I also heard that's just rumors and speculation, so we don't really know. In any case, the trial did not do her justice. Number 5. This one is fairly common because, well, it's an obvious one. But it's still worthy of a mention. Why is the ultimate gambler not good at lying and holding a poker face? It's a really simple fix too. Just have her get caught a different way other than her cracking. Well, I'm going to excuse this because the voice acting in that trial was just, immaculate. It still rubs me the wrong way. She had trouble keeping her composure during the trial. But she could while she was literally dying. Number 6. Trial 3 of V3 raised a really interesting point, but they didn't follow up on it. The fact that Tenko and Angie could have different killers. In my opinion, Korekiyo shouldn't have killed them both. It makes nearly no sense. Why would he go for another kill? And don't give me that sister-friend BS. If he only killed Angie and didn't get caught, which most likely he wouldn't have, then Tenko and the others would have still died. In that perspective, he would have killed more people than just Tenko. What would have made more sense is if Tenko was Angie's killer. She had killed her because she was worried for Himiko and the others. We already know that Tenko had thought about it because of what she asked Maki. Tenko could definitely pull off that locker room murder too. She's fit and intelligent, and as we all know, very determined to protect Himiko. Korekiyo would be angry that he didn't get to kill anyone, and his whole setup would be put to waste. So in an act of desperation, he performed the seance. It would make sense for Tenko to offer to take Himiko's place too. She would feel immense guilt about Angie's murder. Then we would do something for a punishment for the dead Tenko. That's on you guys to figure out what. And the cast would have to live with the killer for the next chapter. We can use this to actually address his trauma and abuse and give him character growth I would be fine with him being a survivor even if he murdered Tenko. I think it would be a really interesting arc. Number 7. Okay, what the heck was the motive for Mikon? We could still have the despair disease stuff going on, but the thing is, it's supposed to be the opposite of the person, right? So why did Mikon get the remembering disease? They should have given her an assertive disease. And in those moments, she takes a stand on Hyoko's bullying and snaps. Have Buki walk in on the murder instead. Or as my girlfriend suggested, have Buki murder Hyoko, because she would have if she was told to because of the gullible disease. Save the toll excuse from the last chapter for this case. There's just so many more ways you could go about this motive. Throw out the Junko stuff, no one wants that. It's known in the fandom as abusive, as it should be. If you ever want more proof of that, just watch the anime clips with Junko and Mikon. That's a relationship we should have not seen. What's the point of showing abuse if you don't use it to teach a lesson? How to escape abuse, whatever. Just don't put it there for the shock value of it. Number 8. Or Mastermind Sonia. She had so much potential for either one. She has the resources, knowledge, and interest in things like that. For being a Blacken, the perfect place would have been Chapter 4, where Gundam killed Nekomaru. It feels so odd to bring Nekomaru back just to kill him off right away. Instead, I propose Sonia and Gundam working together to plan a murder, with one of them going to be the victim. That way, the victim is doing it willingly, and they can spend their last moments bonding over their interest again. If not Black and Sonia, at the least, her helping Gundam plan her murder, so she could be an accomplice to her own death. The only reason I would prefer Gundam to be the Blacken at the end of the day is because I love his execution so much. Number 9. Let's be honest, they did Kaido real shady. During the trials, and frankly in-game, they made him seem somewhat dumb. Sometimes they sacrifice his character to amplify others, such as Gonta, Kokichi, and Soichi. How about we not do that, and instead let Kaido be more intelligent? We know he is due to his ultimate. He just struggles with reading the room and listening to others occasionally. We can still have that foil to Kokichi. We don't need him to be dumb to achieve that. It's more on their trust level. Kaido trusts everyone, while Kokichi trusts no one. There's no need to dumb down Kaido. How about he catches on to the lies and other things, but doesn't call them out because he lets his emotions cloud his judgment? In Kokichi's final moments, we can even have them talk about that and come to an agreement that they're both wrong and it needs to be more balanced. Number 10. Chiaki. Now, Chiaki is a favorite character of mine, and I even have a video in progress addressing her Mary Sue qualities. But even I can admit, there is a huge wasted opportunity with her in the anime. We got to see a few pieces of her character, but I would have preferred if they showed us more of her struggles. They made an introvert seem like a problem and missed the mark. The issue isn't being an introvert, it's not having social interaction at all. I would have loved to see them address Chiaki's issues relating to everyone and interacting in general, instead of just saying, boom, playing one game together made everything okay. No, show us more development. We need progression. You can't just give us a start and end point. These are all my personal opinions, so you could totally see things differently. And if you do, feel free to comment your thoughts below. I always love hearing from people.